Oh, hey, what's happening? My name's Phil from Down to Mob, and behind me is my custom Jeep Gladiator truck camper. That was kind of my dream rig when I first went on the road over 6 years ago. And it took about 3 years to build. I've lived in it for about 2 years, and it's been an amazing rig. I built it so that it would be, number one, fun to drive. And it is super fun to drive. A very close number two was full-time livable, comfortable camper. You could sit in with the top down, have plenty of room for your head. You can do everything with the top down. You can sleep in it, but popping the top gives you more room to stand, all that good stuff. In this video, I'm gonna tell you 10 things about this Jeep that you might not know. Things you can't really necessarily just see from a first glance. The first thing you might not know is not only is my camper 100% completely custom, but it actually was built by 2 different companies across 2 different states, in Arizona and Oklahoma. Before the camper could even begin construction, we had to build a completely custom aluminum frame at Nichols Auto Fab. Not only did we have to build this aluminum flatbed for the camper walls to be built up on, but we also widened this stock frame to fit the 40-inch spare tire underneath. We've got a worn 2,000-pound winch sitting right about here that runs through the aluminum frame on a pulley that can raise and lower the tire, and the tire is held up by a 3-tire strap. Also, this bumper is completely 100% custom made by Kevin Nichols by hand out of 3/16 steel. It runs into the frame here and here for 4 different points. It's an absolute beast that you can slam. Of course, you've seen my pop top on the camper and the electric roof lift. But let me show you one thing inside the camper that you might not know is there. So you've probably seen my mini kitchen over here with the 1 burner and the sink on this side. But everyone is surprised when I tell them there is a toilet in this rig, and it's right here. Flip this switch, grab this bad boy, do your business in there, put the coagulant in, press the button, and this integrated wrap-on dry toilet will heat seal your poopies, and you just throw the bag away. Also under here, I've mounted a Extreme Outback Magnum 1.5 horsepower compressor. This thing is a beast. It airs up these 40-inch tires in no time. And it's also connected to the Dana Spicer Ultimate 60s to engage the ARB air lockers. George and the team at Extreme Outback have been amazing with customer service setting this thing up. It is super simple, but I installed it all. I'm an amateur. This was my first time setting up a real true air system. So I had a few questions along the way, and George was right there with emails back and forth. His customer service was amazing. And also he really helped me not just get a compressor, but design this entire air system with every piece that I would need to connect everything. He even allowed me to pick the layout of how I wanted the compressor head. So I chose this exact layout to put the compressor head over here and mount it this way. You could put the compressor head on top if you wanted, you know, if that was kind of the room that you had. But anyways, awesome to have this thing mounted in here under the dinette. Some cool stuff. Another thing that you wouldn't see unless you really get down underneath here close to these Icon billet arms is the Long Range America fuel tank. This gives me an extra 17 gallons for a total of 36 gallons and approximately a 550-mile range. Totally changing the game, allowing me to get cheaper gas prices, you know, crossing borders into places where fuel might be more expensive. They do make a kit that bolts right into the Jeep Gladiator with no customizations, but of course, my Jeep's so custom already with the Dana Spicer Ultimate 60s that the drive shaft would actually rub the tank a little bit. So, fun story. Of course, I was like, well, Kevin can cut that and modify that. at the time Kevin had a Gladiator. So we actually pitched to Long Range America, send us 3 tanks. We'll modify 2 of them, put 1 of them in my Jeep, send the other one back to them, modified and ready so that they could have a version that's available for Dana 60s, and then 1 to put in Kevin's Jeep. They went for it, and that's the story of how I got this custom fitted Long Range America fuel tank. Another thing in the camper that you have seen a lot is the display of the Red Arc Manager 30. This manages all of my solar, my interior and exterior scene lighting and all sorts of good stuff. But that little display is just one small part of that system. That's actually mounted down here on a custom 80/20 aluminum extrusion frame. So we've got the Red Arc Manager 30 with red vision, and there's also 200 amp hours of Dakota lithium batteries that I sandwiched in here. The Kotech inverter is mounted underneath the seat on the roof that you don't see a whole lot unless I'm getting those epic drone shots. 370 watts of Zamp Obsidian solar panels. They're super efficient. They've taken a beating. I've never thought twice about what I drag them up through. Another thing that you might not know about the Jeep, you see the big Nitto 40-inch tires, trail ready beadlocks, Spicer Ultimate 60s are super wide. It's hard to miss that stuff. But again, if you don't come under here and take a peek, you might not see this beautiful, super beefy Steer Smarts track bar, drag link, and Griffin attenuator. Having good steering on this truck has been an absolute game changer. I had it on when I had 37s. When we went to 40s, we added the PSC hydraulic steering. So every single component in the steering, other than the rod that connects the steering box to the steering wheel, has been replaced. Nothing is stock in the steering. Kind of fits the theme of the whole build. So you saw the solar system in the back seat of the Jeep. The goose gear, seat delete, modified a little bit. Here's the other battery. But I also put 21 gallons of water in this thing, which is epic. It's plumbed back into the camper, to the sink, obviously. The other thing that's right here is a super duper small and very efficient 12-volt pump. This is actually from my friends at Rinse Off. Oh. It's a proprietary system. I use their tubing. It's all super high quality. So I've been very happy with the water system and all the plumbing. The other thing that you see, and I don't set it up all the time, this Ostrich Wing Junior awning has held up great. I've never had any issues with it. It's aluminum, it's super light. Greg from Pack Racks made me super strong custom brackets, 3 of them, not just 2, that go all the way through the FRP composite camper. So yeah, it's awesome. Another thing I'll show you just real quick that I absolutely love is my table. This is custom made out of a piece of aluminum. So Kevin made the piece of aluminum, bent it, welded it. I did the rest with cables going up to L-track. And then these are hood pins, like little buttons. So anyways, been super happy with the truck. It is bittersweet selling it. Was a very tough decision, but I've been on the road, on and off the road, almost 6 years, and it's just time for a bigger home on wheels. You can live in it for a month or 2 at a time super comfortably, but after that the camper gets to feel a little bit small for full timing. With that said, I do have buddies who live out of, Will lives out of his 4Runner. He's got a lot less space than this and he loves it. And so how much space you have also determines where you go and how fun the truck is to drive. And this truck was built to be a compromise of everything and compromise nothing at the same time. It was built to go anywhere, and it does that. It literally goes anywhere it fits. You don't even need the lockers. Not once. I've never got this truck stuck, other than when it was bone stock once. It's insane. Like, it is honestly a trip to drive because it just works. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment what you think. Hit the like if you enjoyed the video. We'll see you on the next one. The only question is, are you down to mob?